12 bone-chilling floods where escape was impossible. Floods that can cause bone aches due to the extreme cold they bring are considered natural disasters that endanger people. They commonly strand them with no way out. In this video, we'll examine 12 frightening floods where escape was literally impossible. Number 12. China. One of the many terrible storms to affect China's history caused significant flooding. The Yangtze River and Huai River areas experienced floods in 1998, which were caused by heavy monsoon rains. A great deal of destruction in both human and property losses were caused by the floods. Due to their abruptness and intensity, inadequate infrastructure and emergency plans, high population density in the vicinity, and extensive impacted territories all combine to make it infeasible to avoid these floods. The terrible effects of the rivers were devastating. Numerous individuals perished. China channeled investment into improving their flood control systems, building reservoirs, and creating berms after experiencing the floods. Number 11. Holland and England. The year 1953 saw a flood caused by severe storms hitting both the Netherlands and England's coasts. A powerful storm and high tides led to the North Sea flood in 1953. Shoreline defenses were broken through by enormous waves. The substantial amount of water covered a vast region that comprised crucial metropolitan areas and small settlements, resulting in immense harm and fatalities. Another major flood struck England in 2013. Heavy rain and rising rivers caused significant water damage, especially in Somerset. These storms had a terrible effect and aftermath, with devastating damage. Both countries suffered a lot of damage in 1953, with hundreds of people dying and infrastructure, crops, and economies being affected. Number 10. Guatemala. Mudslides and storms have wreaked havoc in Guatemala, causing tremendous flooding. Tons of mud covered an entire village due to the Panabaj mudslide caused by the heavy rain in 2005. The year 2020 witnessed hurricanes Eta and Iota, causing flooding and landslides. The homes of thousands of people were abandoned due to this. Escaping during such storms was hard for people due to the rugged elevation, subpar infrastructure, and scarcity of resources. Number 9. Bangladesh. Bangladesh has experienced multiple floods in different regions on several occasions. Bangladesh has a rainy climate and is also low-lying. This often results in severe floods happening frequently. Usually it is heavy rain, melting snow from the Himalayas, and river water from upstream that cause these floods. The numerous rivers in the country exacerbated the flooding. Large parts of farms and towns get flooded because of them. Floods have caused people to perish, move involuntarily, and witness damage to crops and buildings. Diseases carried by water have dispersed. In order to mitigate flood effects, Bangladesh has taken multiple actions such as building flood shelters, berms, and early warning systems. Number 8. Venezuela. At a specific place and time, which was Vargas State in December 1999 in Venezuela, heavy rainfall led to flash floods and mudslides. The steep terrain of Vargas made the destruction of many coastal towns and villages worse. The accident caused the deaths of thousands and compelled many to relocate. Apart from destroying a lot of homes, it also destroyed infrastructure and ways of making a living. The exhibit depicted Venezuela's need for superior crisis and urban planning, as well as highly functional early warning systems. Number 7. Italy. In Italy, rain has caused damage in various regions on different dates, like in Florence in 1966 and Cinque Terre in 2011. Destructive floods have struck Italy throughout its entire history. In 1966, Florence experienced a flood that caused damage to numerous cultural treasures. The flooding in 2011 severely harmed Cinque Terre's lovely coastal area. The floods caused a lot of deaths and led to the destruction of infrastructure and cultural artifacts. Building flood walls and having early warning systems in place are some examples of the measures taken to improve flood prevention and control. Number 6. Germany. Germany faced catastrophic floods, much like the ones in 2002 and 2021. Rivers overflowed due to the heavy rainfall that caused these floods. Infrastructure destruction and widespread flooding affected living areas. They created many problems for many individuals. Escaping from the floods was challenging as a result of the rapidly escalating water levels, a lack of escape options, and limited warning systems. People discussed improving flood prevention and warning systems due to the events that transpired. The discussion also covered ways of upgrading flood management in affected areas. Number 5. Iran. The flood situation has been devastating for Iran in recent years, especially in 2019 and 2020. A lot of rainfall led to floods as rivers overflowed and drainage systems were insufficient. The drainage caused by the flooding of large areas affected homes, farms, and infrastructure greatly. Those affected found it challenging to get away due to insufficient exit routes, a poorly planned city, and their unpreparedness for the calamity. The floods caused numerous fatalities, forced relocations, and considerable monetary losses for many. To aid recovery, emergency relief was given and the infrastructure was reconstructed. Number 4. Russia. Several places across Russia encountered flooding in 2002, including central Russia. Heavy rainfall in Krasnodar Krai during 2013 was responsible for the flooding in southern Russia. Flash floods and mudslides were extremely hazardous. Due to these storms, individuals perished, infrastructure suffered severe harm, and services were disrupted. The affected areas made it challenging to carry out rescue and recovery operations. Since then, Russia has been striving to enhance its flood predictions and emergency response systems. Furthermore, actions have been taken to bolster the resistance of locations at risk of flooding and minimize their susceptibility to harm. Number 3. Central Europe. Heavy rainfall in 2002 led to floods in Central Europe. Countries like Germany, Austria, the Czech Republic, and Hungary experienced flooding. Destruction occurred in both cities and rural regions as a result of rivers like the Danube and Elbe flooding. The rains caused many deaths and compelled individuals to relocate. They caused damage to the property and infrastructure. The occurrence resulted in improved flood readiness, such as constructing barriers and issuing advance alerts. Number 2. India. Heavy rainfall caused flash floods and flooding to occur in the Kedarnath region of Uttarakhand, India in June 2013. The debris and rivers spilling over took away countless people, even those heading for the renowned Kedarnath temple. Structures and thoroughfares suffered damage too. It was tough for people trapped in the disaster to escape as a result of swift flooding, rough land, and a shortage of early warning methods. Exit options were insufficient. The after effects of the Kedarnath rains led to the loss of thousands of lives and extensive damage to infrastructure. The involvement of the Indian military and government departments was crucial in carrying out successful rescue and aid efforts. A re-evaluation of the disaster management policies took place due to the disaster. Number 1. Pakistan. Due to heavy summer rainfall, Pakistan suffered from floods in both 2010 and 2011. The washing away of towns by flooding rivers caused millions of people to move. Deficient infrastructure, malfunctioning drainage systems, and remote or inaccessible areas were some obstacles that prevented flood victims from escaping. Numerous individuals lost their lives due to the floods, which also caused damage to houses, infrastructure, and stopped farming activities. The enduring repercussions included a deficiency in food and waterborne diseases. So, if you found this video interesting, then do like, share, and subscribe to our channel.